Hello everyone and welcome back to Acrylic Pouring with Myrian. And today we are going to be working with a large canvas. Yes, large canvases are so much fun, I found out. So as you can see, I have my large canvas here. Now this is the largest I've ever worked on. This happens to be a 16 by 20 canvas. I usually work with 11 by 14, 11 by 17. But check this out. Look, I primed it. I primed my canvas. I primed it. I'm a big girl. I'm a good girl, I am. Yes. So I made sure I primed it because I want the paint to flow. Unlike the last video where I struggled to get that paint going. And yeah. So anyway, I got my canvas all primed. I used just Liquitex Gesso. Now with the priming of your canvas, you can use the gesso, or if you want to use just regular white paint, you can do that. You can even prime it with black paint too and make a really cool pour with that. But anything to keep that paint flowing, use it. Next, I have my Artist Loft White. Yay! But check this out. No enamel added. So this is just going to be all white, pouring medium, and probably some water. Okay, and next I have my all-time favorite Premier Violet. Oh, the color is so pretty. I love this color. It's just so dark, mysterious, and gorgeous. Okay, enough of that. Next I have some Delta bright red, and honestly it's not really that bright, but it'll do. It'll do. But it's red. It's definitely red. And next I'm using a Delta again, but this is the navy blue. As I said in my last video, I love the color blue. I don't know why, but I just love that blue. There's something about it. It's just gorgeous. It calms you down from a stressful day. Yeah. Okay, moving on. I have more Delta paint. And this time I'm using Delta's Tahiti blue. Again with the blue, right? Right? So you think that's all you're going to see in this video? No. You'll see. You'll see what's going to happen. Moving on. Now I'm using something different than I normally use. I'm using Liquitex pouring medium. Why? Because, well, I just wanted to use up what I had left over. Yeah. So anyway, I'm using that instead of my homemade pouring medium. So now that I have everything all pointed out, now I'm putting everything into my cup for the pour. And then I forgot one little thing, which resulted into my biggest mistake ever. OMG. Okay, so what I did was I put the pouring medium into my paints. I mixed them all up. But then I decided, oh, these are a little too thick. Let me just add just a teensy-weensy bit of water. I did that. But guess what I forgot to do for my Tahiti blue? I forgot to mix it. And watch what happens. Yep, you see that? Do you see all that runniness? Do you just see it? Water was just going everywhere. And at this point, I was looking at it like, oh no. Oh no. And here I am. I'm going to point it out. Just a second. Yep, there it is. That's water. That's water. So instead of just scraping it off and starting over, I decided to just go with it. Now remember, I was making such a big fuss about putting my prime on. I didn't account for the size, so I, again, still struggled. Even though everything was primed and even though it was all runny, I could not cover that canvas with the amount of paint I put on there. I put too little. So lesson learned, make sure you have enough paint for a large canvas. Oh my goodness, we have a hot mess alert. This is a major hot mess alert. Do you see this? Do you see the mess before you? Yes. It looks kind of cool because almost like, it looks like almost like a shape of a head or something like that. But besides the point, this is a major hot mess. This is because the paint was water. And I know for a fact if you just say, oh, I made mine like water, when it dries, it may crack and may not look pretty. So I carried on and fixed my problem. Now look at this. Do you see how the paint looks in the cup now? That's how it's supposed to look in the beginning, but it didn't because I wasn't paying attention. So now that all the paint's mixed, let's finish up this pour and correct this problem. One more thing I wanted to point out as well about the paint that I'm pouring now. Look at the amount of paint that I have in this cup. I have a lot. And for a 16 by 20, that is needed. You need a lot. The first amount that I put on there was actually enough for like an 8 by 10 or 11 by 17 or 11 by 14, which I am used to. And it was just stuck in my head. Hey, I gotta mix this much amount of paint. And if anything left over, I can probably use for little touch-ups. Nope, I need all that paint for this large canvas. Remember, large canvas, a lot of paint. Just see those rings popping out as I spread it around. Now, I know I said in the last video to tilt your canvas slowly if you want to keep the rings, but in my head it was stuck that I had to fix the mess up I did. So I was just pretty much tilting anywhere and everywhere. And as you can see, the amount of paint that I had for this second pour was perfect. It covered. There was just a few little corners, which is normal when you do these type of things. There's always the edges, the little sharp parts of the sharp corners of the canvas that does not get covered. But look at that. It covered beautifully. And this little tap, tap, tap here and tap, tap, tap there to cover the corners to make sure it's all done. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? Here I'm using my heat gun to get out any little bubbles that's trapped. If you prefer to use one of those torches, please by all means use it. I think torches actually does better than the heat gun, but this is what I'm accustomed to. Here it is all close up, and you can see what I was talking about with the little bubbles. Those little white dots, that's just the bubbles within pulling out the white from below. But the colors are really, really nice. Now this had the enamel in there. The gradients of the colors would have been way fine, you know, more refined. But here you can just see them. They're like I'm here, I'm there. Now this is when I put the painting outside, and you can see more of the colors a little bit better, because inside is kind of like ugh. But outside you can really see it, how bright they are, and it's really pretty. And because I was turning it, not slowly, but just turning it and flipping and flopping and all that good stuff, the design on there is like awesome. It's zigzag. I really love it. And here is the painting all dry and on my wall. As you can see, the colors finish doing their popping things. You see all these little white dots all over the place, but it's fine. I turned it in this direction because it kind of reminded me of the sun almost. So, but as you can see, the large canvases is a bit tricky because you got to make sure you have enough paint to cover everything. And please, by all means, make sure your paint is all mixed thoroughly, because if it doesn't, you'll have that nice hot mess like I did. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. I had a lot of fun, even though I made a mistake. And the music in this video and also my other videos I made myself, so I'll put a link in the description if you want to hear them without all the other noise and everything. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Like and subscribe. See you later. Keep on pouring.
I see you, little one.